All right, welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking at some pretty cool stuff, some cutting-edge AI.
Yeah.
And more specifically, it's OpenAI's new tools for building what they're calling agents.
Right.
Now, I know agent can sound like, like a spy movie or something like that, but
Yeah.
in this case, think of it as like a super-powered digital assistant, but way smarter.
Right.
We're going to be unpacking a pretty dense YouTube video from OpenAI.
Okay.
Don't worry, we're going to extract the coolest insights just for you.
Yeah.
No tech jargon required.
Sounds good.
So what is an agent anyway?
Yeah. So I think what's really fascinating here is that these agents aren't just responding to your requests,
Right.
They're designed to act independently, carrying out tasks on your behalf.
Oh,
So it's a whole new level of AI capability.
so instead of me asking an AI to find a recipe,
Right.
it could actually order the groceries, preheat the oven, and maybe even start cooking.
Yeah, you're getting the idea. We've already seen glimpses of this with things like ChatGPT's web browser,
Right.
where it can search the internet and interact with websites.
Right.
But OpenAI is now giving developers the tools to build even more complex and capable agents.
So you mentioned developers.
Yes.
Why were these tools even necessary? Were developers struggling to build these agents before?
Yeah, that's exactly the problem that OpenAI was trying to solve.
Oh, okay.
Developers were, super excited about the potential of AI agents, but
Right.
building them was really complex.
Yeah.
Imagine having to piece together different APIs from all over the place,
Right.
and it still might not work reliably.
So OpenAI swooped in to save the day with a whole new set of tools and even a new API.
Precisely. It's a big shift for OpenAI.
Wow.
Wow, they started with text-based interactions, then moved into multimodality with images and audio,
Right.
and now they're focusing on making agent creation easier and more robust.
So let's get into the good stuff.
Okay.
The tools themselves.
Mm.
I hear there's 3 major ones built in that are like the building blocks for these agents.
Yeah.
What are we looking at?
Okay, so the first one is the web search tool.
Okay.
And this gives agents the ability to access real-time information from the internet. So it's kind of like a supercharged search engine,
Yeah.
specifically for AI.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be chaotic, just letting an AI loose on the internet?
Right.
How do we know it's finding the right information?
That's where the impressive part comes in.
Okay.
This web search tool is powered by a finely tuned model that scored incredibly high on a benchmark test called Simple QA.
Okay.
So it's not just browsing randomly, it's understanding what it's looking for and finding relevant answers.
So it can kind of parse through the BS.
Exactly.
That's reassuring.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the next tool in our agent toolkit?
All right, next up is the file search tool,
Okay.
which lets agents tap into your private data stores.
Okay.
So this could be anything from your personal files to a company's internal database.
Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. My AI rummaging through my personal files.
Yeah.
That sounds a little risky, doesn't it?
I understand your concern, but OpenAI has built in some important safeguards.
Okay.
For example, the file search tool now has metadata filtering,
Okay.
which means you can control which files the agent can access based on their attributes.
So I get to decide what's off limits.
Exactly.
Okay. That makes me feel a little better.
Yeah.
So I'm not giving the AI free reign over all my data.
Right.
What's the last tool that rounds out this trio?
Okay, the third one is perhaps the most intriguing.
Okay.
It's called the computer use tool.
Computer use tool.
And this lets agents control computers,
Uh-huh.
including virtual machines and even older software that doesn't have a modern API.
Wow. So it's like the agent has its own little digital hands to interact with these different systems.
Right.
What kind of things could it actually do with that control?
So think of it as the next level of ChatGPT's web browsing capability.
Okay.
If you saw their presentation, they highlighted some amazing examples.
Okay. We're talking about automating tasks that used to require human intervention, potentially across a whole range of software.
Wow, that's a lot of power for an AI agent.
Yeah.
But all this searching and controlling and interacting,
Right.
it seems like it would need a pretty robust API to handle it all.
Yeah.
Was OpenAI's existing API up to the task?
That's a great question. And honestly, it wasn't.
Oh, really?
Their older chat completions API was fantastic for basic text-based back and forth.
Right.
But agents require a much more flexible system.
Okay.
They need to make multiple calls to different tools and models within a single task.
So OpenAI had to go back to the drawing board and create something entirely new.
Exactly. They built a new API from the ground up,
Wow.
specifically for agent development.
Okay.
They call it the Responses API.
All right, responses API it is. So
Yes.
how does it work?
Okay.
Can we see a real example of how developers are putting these tools and the responses API into action? Of course, OpenAI showcased a really cool demo using the responses API to build a personal stylist agent.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's a great way to see how it all comes together in a way that's easy to understand.
A personal stylist powered by AI. I'm all ears. Let's hear how they made it happen.
Okay, so the first step is providing context to the agent.
Okay.
They literally instructed the model, you are a personal stylist.
So we're setting the AI's personality, so to speak.
Right.
What happens next?
Then they incorporated the file search tool,
Okay.
and this is where things get personalized because the
Mhm.
agent can now access data about the user's style preferences.
Okay.
Imagine an AI stylist that already knows your favorite brands.
Right.
What colors look best on you?
Amazing. But what about staying up to date? I mean, fashion is always changing, right?
That's where the web search tool comes in.
Right.
They added that to the agent so it could access real-time information about current fashion trends.
Okay.
And you know what's in stores?
Okay, so it combines my personal style from the file search with the latest trends from the web search.
Right.
But how does it all work together? Where does the responses API fit in?
This is where the responses API really shines.
Okay.
It allows the agent to make multiple tool calls within a single request.
Oh, okay.
That means it can grab your personal style data and search the web for trends all at once.
So it's not limited to using one tool at a time.
Correct.
It can multitask with those tools.
Exactly. That's wild. And to make things even more impressive, they integrated the computer use tool into the demo.
Okay.
So the personal stylist agent was actually able to help the user make online purchases.
Hold on. So my AI stylist picks out an outfit based on my preferences and the latest trends,
Right.
and then it can actually buy it for me. That's amazing, but also a little scary, to be honest.
I understand the hesitation.
Yeah.
But the point is, these new tools and the responsive API open up a world of possibilities for what agents can do.
Right.
It's like they've given developers a superpower.
This is definitely a lot to process.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, though, what happens when a task gets too big or complicated for just one agent to handle?
That's an excellent question, and it leads us to the next exciting area of OpenAI's agent development,
Okay.
agent orchestration.
Oh, go.
So what if we could have multiple agents working together, like a team of specialists?
Instead of one agent trying to do everything, we could have different agents, each focusing on a specific part of the task.
You got it.
Okay.
Think of it like this. If you were planning a big event, you wouldn't expect one person to handle everything.
Right.
You'd have someone for catering, someone for decorations, someone for entertainment, and so on.
So how do we manage all these different AI agents and make sure they're working together smoothly?
Right.
Wouldn't that be even more complicated than just building one agent?
That's where OpenAI's Agents SDK comes in.
Okay.
It's a framework designed specifically for building, managing, and deploying these multi-agent systems.
Agents SDK, that name rings a bell.
Yeah.
Didn't they used to call it something else?
You're right. It was originally called Swarm,
Right.
but OpenAI rebranded and upgraded it to the Agents SDK, reflecting its growing importance and sophistication.
So it sounds like the Agents SDK is the key to unlocking the power of these multi-agent systems.
Exactly.
But what can developers actually do with it? I mean, is it super complicated to use?
That's one of the coolest things about the Agents SDK. It's incredibly flexible.
Okay.
You can keep things simple if you're just building a basic agent,
Right.
but it also scales to handle much more complex multi-agent applications.
So it's both user-friendly and super powerful.
Right.
Are there any other features that stand out?
Yeah, one really neat thing is that you can actually turn Python functions into tools that the model can understand and use.
Oh, wow.
So developers can leverage their existing code and skills to build even more customized agents.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Sounds like they've thought of everything.
Hopefully.
But let's be real, building these multi-agent systems is still going to be challenging, right? Especially when it comes to debugging and figuring out what's happening when things go wrong.
You're absolutely right. Debugging is crucial in any complex system.
Yeah.
And it's even more important when you have multiple agents interacting with each other.
I can imagine it would be a nightmare trying to track down a problem when you have all these different agents passing information back and forth.
Right. That's why OpenAI built a special visual tool called a tracing UI into the Agents SDK.
Oh.
And it lets developers see the flow of actions and data within their multi-agent system.
So it's like a map that shows you what each agent is doing and how they're communicating.
Exactly. Developers can see each step in the process, which agent is doing what, and how data is being shared.
Right.
This makes debugging a whole lot easier and helps ensure that everything is running smoothly.
Whew, that's a relief.
Yeah.
It sounds like OpenAI has really thought this through and given developers the tools they need to build some truly incredible things.
I hope so.
But what about the future? What are OpenAI's plans for these tools and APIs?
They've been pretty transparent about their roadmap.
Okay.
They've assured developers that the existing chat completions API will continue to be supported.
Okay.
But some of the coolest new features will only be available in the Responses API.
So it sounds like the Responses API is the future of OpenAI's platform, at least when it comes to agent development.
Exactly.
And for those using the older Assistance API,
Right.
they can announce that it'll be retired in 2026.
Correct.
But don't worry, they'll provide a migration guide to help developers smoothly transition to the Responses API.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
It feels like we're on the verge of a major shift in AI capabilities.
for sure.
And it's exciting to see how these new tools will shape the future.
Absolutely.
We've covered a lot of ground already, and it's clear that OpenAI is making some bold moves in the world of AI.
Yeah.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's take a moment to recap what we've learned so far.
Okay.
So we started by defining what an agent actually is in this context. Right. An AI system capable of independent action to complete tasks on our behalf.
Yeah.
Then we talked about the challenges that developers were facing in building these agents,
Right.
which led OpenAI to create this whole new suite of tools and the Responses API.
Correct.
We took a deep dive into those three fascinating tools: web search, file search, and computer use,
Right.
and how they give agents the ability to access information, manage data, and even control computers.
Yes.
And we saw how the Responses API makes it all work seamlessly, allowing agents to use multiple tools at once.
Right.
And we also explored the concept of agent orchestration, using multiple specialized agents to tackle complex tasks,
Right.
all managed and coordinated through the powerful and flexible Agents SDK.
Exactly.
It's been quite a journey so far.
It has.
We've gone from the basic definition of an agent to the intricate details of how they're built and managed.
Right.
And we even peeked into the future of OpenAI's platform.
Yeah.
We've only just scratched the surface of what's possible with these new agent-building tools. But for now, let's take a short break.
Sounds good.
When we return, we'll delve into some specific examples of how these tools are being used in various industries and what the future holds for this exciting field. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were really getting our heads around how OpenAI is making it easier to build these sophisticated AI agents
Right.
that can, work together like a dream team.
Yeah.
I have to admit, it's a little intimidating thinking about managing all these agents and making sure they play nice.
I get it. I mean, it's a big leap from the AI we're used to,
Right.
That's why this Agents SDK is so important.
Right.
It's not just about building agents, it's about orchestrating them, making sure they work together smoothly and efficiently.
Can you give us a real-world example of where this multi-agent approach would really shine?
Sure. Let's imagine you're running customer support for a busy online store. Okay.
Okay.
Instead of building one super agent that tries to handle everything, from product questions to returns,
Right.
you could use the Agents SDK to create a team of specialists.
Oh, okay.
So each agent would have its own area of expertise.
Yeah, so each agent would have its own area of expertise.
Exactly.
Okay.
You could have a product expert agent that's trained on your entire catalog
Okay.
and can answer customer questions accurately and quickly.
Yeah.
Then you might have a returns specialist agent that handles everything about returns.
Right.
From generating shipping labels to processing refunds.
And maybe even a billing support agent to help with, payment issues.
You're catching on.
Okay.
The beauty of the Agents SDK is that it helps manage the flow of information between these agents.
Right.
So if a customer starts by asking a product question,
Okay.
but then wants to return something, the conversation can be seamlessly handed off
Oh, wow.
from the product expert to the return specialist.
So the customer feels like they're talking to one helpful support system.
Right.
even though there's a whole team of AI agents working behind the scenes.
Ex-
That's pretty slick.
That's exactly what agent orchestration aims to do.
Yep.
Create a smooth and efficient experience for the user.
Right.
The Agents SDK just makes it much easier for developers to build and manage those complex interactions.
This is all starting to feel pretty futuristic.
Yeah.
Are there companies actually using this multi-agent approach in the real world yet?
It's still early days, but we're already seeing companies experiment with multi-agent systems.
Okay.
For example, some financial institutions are using agents for things like fraud detection and risk assessment.
Okay.
Imagine a system where different agents monitor transactions, analyze market data,
Right.
and assess customer behavior, all working together to identify a potential fraud.
That's a great example of how this technology can be applied to, like, real-world problems.
Right.
Where else do you think we might see these agent-building tools having an impact?
Honestly, the potential is huge.
Yeah.
We could see agents revolutionizing healthcare,
Right.
education, logistics, you name it. In healthcare, they could help personalize treatment plans,
Okay.
monitor patient health, or even assist with diagnosis.
Wow.
In education, they could provide personalized tutoring,
Okay.
automate administrative tasks,
Right.
or create interactive learning experiences. I mean, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah. It's amazing to think about the impact this could have on so many different aspects of our lives.
Yeah.
But before we get too carried away, are there any challenges or concerns that come with developing and using these agents?
That's a really important question. Like any powerful technology, there are things we need to consider.
Right.
One of the biggest challenges is making sure these agents are aligned with human values and goals.
Right.
We want them to act in our best interests and not cause any unintended harm.
I can't help but think of all those sci-fi movies where the AI turns evil and takes over.
Yeah, while those scenarios are usually exaggerated,
Right.
it's still crucial to think about these things carefully.
Right.
OpenAI is definitely aware of these concerns. And they've built safety mechanisms into their systems to try to prevent any unintended consequences.
What kind of safety mechanisms are we talking about?
For one thing, they have strict guidelines for developers using their tools and APIs.
Okay.
They also have robust monitoring systems to detect and address any potential problems.
Okay.
And they're actively involved in research and collaboration to promote responsible AI development.
So they're taking it seriously, which is good to hear.
Yeah.
But beyond safety concerns, what are some of the practical challenges developers face when building these agents?
One challenge is the need for a lot of training data.
Go.
To do their jobs effectively, these agents need to be trained on massive amounts of data.
Right.
Thankfully, OpenAI is constantly improving its models to make them more efficient.
Okay.
I mean, they need less data to learn.
So it's getting easier for developers to get started with this technology.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Another challenge is the need for ongoing monitoring and maintenance.
Right.
These agents aren't static. They need to be updated and refined to make sure they're performing well and adapting to new situations.
I guess it makes sense. Just like any complex system, they need regular upkeep and attention.
You got it.
Right.
And lastly, there's the challenge of integrating these agents into existing systems and workflows.
Right.
It's not always as simple as just plugging them in and watching them go.
Right.
Developers need to think carefully about how these agents will interact with other systems
Right.
and make sure the transition is smooth.
So it's not just about building the agents themselves. It's about thinking about the bigger picture and how they fit into the overall ecosystem.
Precisely. Developing and deploying AI agents is a complex process
Yeah.
that requires careful planning, execution, and management.
This has been a real eye-opener. We've gone from understanding the basics of AI agents to exploring the complexities of building and managing them,
Yeah.
and even touched on some of the ethical and practical considerations.
Right. It's been a fascinating journey so far.
It had.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
Right.
There's still so much more to explore.
That's right. We've got a lot more to cover.
Okay.
But for now, we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll dive into specific examples of how these agent-building tools are already being used in various industries.
Okay.
And what the future might hold for this exciting field. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been on quite a journey exploring OpenAI's agent-building tools. And I'm still reeling. From all the potential applications we uncovered, it feels like we're standing at the edge of like a major technological shift.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
we've moved beyond that era of simple question and answer AI. You know,
Right.
we're now entering this world where AI agents can take action, gather information, and even control other systems
Right.
to help us achieve our goals. I mean, it really is a game changer that could impact countless industries and
Right.
aspects of our lives.
So we spent the first two parts really laying that technical groundwork,
Yeah.
understanding the responses API and the agents SDK.
Sure.
Now I'm really curious to see how these tools are actually being put to use in those real-world scenarios.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
give me the example. Show me what's happening.
Absolutely. Let's start with an industry that's just, ripe for disruption.
Yeah.
Customer service.
Okay.
We touched on how multi-agent systems can streamline support,
Right.
but let's dive into a concrete example.
Okay.
Okay. Imagine a telecommunications company using OpenAI's tools to revamp their customer support platform.
Okay, so I'm picturing myself needing help with my internet service.
Yeah.
And instead of being stuck on hold forever,
Right.
I'm connected with an AI agent.
That's right, but this isn't your typical chatbot spitting out,
Right.
pre-programmed responses.
Right.
This AI agent, powered by the Responses API,
Okay.
can access your account information,
Okay.
diagnose network problems, and even walk you through those troubleshooting steps.
Okay.
And then if the issue requires a technician to come out,
Right.
it can seamlessly transfer you to another specialized agent that handles scheduling and dispatch.
So instead of navigating that frustrating phone tree and getting transferred between departments, I'm interacting with a system that understands my needs, provides personalized solutions, and actually gets things done.
Exactly. And because these agents learn from each interaction,
Right.
the system's constantly improving,
Wow.
becoming more efficient and effective over time.
That's a huge improvement over traditional customer service.
Right.
What other industries are starting to kind of embrace these agent-building tools?
Well, healthcare is another exciting area.
Okay.
Imagine a hospital using AI agents to help manage patient care.
Okay.
These agents could monitor vital signs,
Okay.
alert medical staff to potential problems,
Right.
and even provide preliminary diagnosis based on symptoms and medical history.
So it's not just about AI assisting with those administrative tasks. It's about AI playing a more active role in patient care.
Precisely.
Hmm.
These agents can act as like an extra set of eyes and ears for healthcare professionals, freeing them up to focus on the most complex cases and provide more personalized attention to patients.
That could be revolutionary for healthcare systems that are facing, staff shortages and rising patient loads.
Exactly.
What about the world of finance?
Yeah.
Any potential applications there?
Absolutely. Financial institutions are looking at how agents can help manage investments, assess risk,
Okay.
and detect fraud.
Okay.
Imagine an AI agent that constantly monitors market trends,
Right.
analyzes your investment portfolio,
Right.
and suggests adjustments based on your financial goals and risk tolerance.
It's like having a personalized financial advisor working around the clock.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
These agents could help individuals make more informed financial decisions
Right.
and potentially achieve better outcomes.
It's truly remarkable to see these agent-building tools being used in such diverse and impactful ways.
Yeah.
As we wrap up our deep dive, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the future of this technology.
Okay.
Where do you see AI agents going next?
Well, the future is wide open, and it's incredibly exciting, I think.
Right.
As these tools become more sophisticated and user-friendly,
Right.
we can expect this surge of innovation in how they're applied.
Yeah.
One area of active research is the development of more general-purpose agents
Okay.
that can handle a wider range of tasks and adapt to new situations more easily.
So instead of having specialized agents for every single task, we could have more versatile agents that can kind of learn and adapt on the fly.
Exactly.
Wow.
We can also anticipate a future where AI agents are more seamlessly integrated into our daily lives.
Right.
They could help us manage our calendars and emails, control smart home devices,
Right.
and even personalize our entertainment experiences.
It sounds like we're heading towards a world where AI isn't just a tool, but a true partner
Right.
that helps us navigate the complexities of modern life.
That's a powerful vision, and it's becoming more realistic every day thanks to the rapid advancements in these agent-building tools.
This deep dive has been incredibly enlightening. We've explored the technical foundations, the real-world applications,
Right.
and those future possibilities of AI agents. What are some key takeaways for our listeners to consider as they grapple with the implications of this transformative technology?
First and foremost, remember that AI agents represent a fundamental change in how we interact with technology.
Right.
They're not just passive tools anymore, they're active collaborators capable of learning, adapting, and acting on our behalf.
It's also important to remember that these agent-building tools are evolving at an incredible pace,
Right.
becoming
Yes.
more powerful and accessible.
Yeah.
That means the potential applications will only continue to expand,
Right.
touching virtually every aspect of our lives.
Yeah, and as we embrace this exciting new frontier of AI,
Right.
it's crucial that we consider the ethical implications and
Yeah.
work together to ensure that these agents are developed and deployed responsibly.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI agents. It's a topic that's sure to spark countless conversations
Yeah.
and ignite our imaginations as we venture into this uncharted territory.
For sure.
We encourage you to continue exploring these concepts, stay curious, and keep asking questions about the role AI will play in shaping our future.
Thanks for listening, everyone.